Okay, what do we got here? What the fuck? What the? What?
It's me.
You look like
me. I'm Glub Shido.
You... Holy shit! It's Glub Shido! Holy shit! Where the fuck? You look like the goddamn like anglerfish from Finding Nemo. We got the legendary Glub Shido on the show. Yeah, it's Bomb Squad Productions, baby. And we're talking, we're doing the Bomb Squad Talk Skeleton Crew. The first time we're doing a Star Wars thing since we covered, I guess, the little bit first of the Bad Batch is the last time I remember releasing a Star Wars thing on the channel. We recorded a vidcast for the like first 3 episodes of season 3 of The Mandalorian. But that will never see the light of day. I still have some of the footage, but it's Tim stopped editing that because it was just a video of me realizing in real time I don't like Star Wars anymore.
Getting redeemed, and which includes Bo-Katan getting redeemed.
I don't like that.
I mean, that sounds interesting.
Here I am talking about a Star Wars thing again. Because, I mean, let's just quickly get into it while because usually you and I cover Marvel shows, not Star Wars stuff. I'm not going to lie, the trailers just kind of really sold me on this.
Actually, I've never seen the full trailer. I just saw it, like, on mute one time during, like, an ad on Hulu. And I was like, what? This actually looks fun. This is, like... Because I'm like you. I loved Star Wars as a child. I liked Star Wars a lot as a teenager. And then progressively just lost interest. It spiked up a little bit when Last Jedi came out, which is ironic since most people, that's when they started hating Star Wars. But I liked it for a bit, and then it kind of died off. Probably a lot to do with friggin' Rise of Skywalker. And now here I am, mostly not. I like Andor. And spoilers, I like this.
I don't think I ever watched the full trailer more than once. Again, I just kind of caught bits and clips. I don't know. My feelings were, on the one hand, the Suburbs planet is fucking hilarious. Just the planet of the suburbs is so goddamn funny to me, just conceptually, that I don't think I really saw past that.
Oh, okay. I wanted to say, I don't want us to go on for too long, especially since we haven't even started talking about the show. But something interesting, because like George Lucas made a point. I think he's done good stuff with the franchise, done not as good stuff with the franchise. But he like made a point, like he always would try and do something like different, like visually and aesthetically every movie. I think he mostly succeeded at that. But like I think this is like it's such a novel direction, and also for for style for the series, where I feel like it's probably one of the better examples of actually following that since Disney acquisition.
Yeah, it's different, it's unique. Even like this is, I didn't see The Acolyte, so maybe that was really different. I don't know. But let's just get right into the show. This is a 2-episode premiere. So we're discussing the first 2 episodes today, starting with episode 1. This could be a real adventure. I mean, the basic gist of this show is that we're introduced to the kids, the main cast of kids, their dynamics. It kind of feels like a real classic 80s movie setup where, like, you know what? It might just be because it's the most recent 80s movie where kids go on an adventure that I've seen. But my mind kept comparing it to Goonies. That might be because it's the most recent one I've seen.
It did for me, but also literally same. Because I saw it like a year or 2 ago.
So maybe Goonies was just on the mind because it was the most recent genre of that type of movie I've seen. There's not too much to say about this episode because it's just a lot of setup.
Yeah, that's what me too.
But I did like it. I liked their dynamics. I liked the way the show looks. It seems to be mostly real sets, which is nice compared to like season 3 of I don't want to be negative. Season 3 of Mandalorian was whatever. It's a different show. I think it looks good. I think lately I've been coming more around to the desaturated look of a lot of stuff. But even with the slightly desaturated look of the show, I still think it looks pretty colorful. It's nice to look at. I like the character dynamics. The effects are well done. And it's just, it was fun. It was fun. Tonally, perfect. It like nailed the tone.
Yeah. No, I was telling Taryn in our group chat, I really want this and Andor to be like the 2 best, at least like Disney Star Wars things. I don't know if it'll be better than Last Jedi, but I don't know. I'm hoping for that because it would be hilarious to have like the 2 most tonally extreme things in this like as far as Star Wars media goes. Be the 2 best examples is just too hilarious to not exist. And I love both tones. I I didn't know I wanted like base Antifa Star Wars, and I didn't know I wanted Fun Times kids adventure story.
You know, it's almost like Star Wars is at its best when creatives come in and try and take the franchise in a new and exciting direction,
Yes.
instead of constantly tying itself to what has been.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
I want to just rant. I feel like I rant so much about the franchise, but I'm going to stick to the show. Really try and stick to the show. But yeah, no, like, yeah, my thoughts on the first episode reflect yours. I like it significantly less, but also it's like, I get why, like, the reason it is what it is, because you gotta set it up. We gotta spend time on this planet to get the fun contrast and all that, and set up the characters. Yeah, I love little. I'm not above enjoying something like just because it's like a cute animal thing, like Baby Yoda and this little, I forget, the Max Rebo is the name of the first character, the piano guy from Return of the Jedi. I think that's his name. Sing us a song, you're the piano guy.
Oh yeah, Max Rebo sounds right.
Yeah, I love the design of that kid. Yeah, no, that kid and the tech girl, and I guess leader girl. The main character is fine so far. Kind of like a standard protagonist for this kind of story. Yeah, Wim. Maybe he'll be more interesting later on. He's interesting enough. Like, he works. He's a fine enough character for what they're doing. I guess I'm just not someone who, I don't like extremely everyman protagonists most of the time. I think it's that's no complaints though, really, with this episode.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I like all the dynamics. There's one thing I really wanted to specifically shout out, which is, I know it's such like a character archetype, but the main character's dad, I don't know. Something about him was really appealing to me as the father who was trying his best, but clearly probably has some stunted emotions about his wife dying.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that was in the performance and everything. And, yeah, no, if we don't get too much of him, I think it's fine, but I think it would be, yeah, no, he seems like a good character.
I just wanted to shout out that Carrie Condon is in this.
Tanner, you know my name disability. My brain cannot comprehend the concept of names.
Carrie Condon is a actress who is probably best known for being in the Banshees of Inisherin as like the female lead of that movie. She's like the lady in charge of, not to get too lore heavy right now, but there's some fascinating stuff going on with the home planet, and that's more about episode 2. But when I watched this first episode, I got the impression it was prequel era because it reminded me of the look of the prequels. And I think that was intentional. Again, we'll get more into that with episode 2 because that's more revealed in episode 2. There's some interesting stuff going on there. We'll get more into that in the next episode. And I mean, before we move on to the next episode, one last thing I want to say. John Watts directed this episode. John Watts is the primary developer of the series. I don't know if he's the showrunner. I'd assume he is because Disney has to have showrunners on this.
And he's had like the most credits out of anyone in these 2 episodes so far, so I would assume. I was pleasantly surprised because I guess like on the spectrum between like you and Joe V when it comes to this guy, I lean probably closer to Joe V, but definitely not like as far as the thing like, oh, he's just kind of bland. I haven't been excited by anything he's done so far, but I haven't but like this, you know, I've been pleasantly surprised with how he's been handling it so far.
This type of material is in his wheelhouse. Because the best part of his Spider-Man movies is usually the high school stuff. I think most people generally agree on that. And the best movie he made prior to working on the Spider-Man movies was Cop Car, which is kind of a throwback to that 80s thing where these, you know, kids go on an adventure. These 2 kids steal a cop car, and it's a pretty fun movie. This leans into his wheelhouse. So I just wanted to shout him out. I also want to shout out the fact that the music is done by Mick Giacchino. Mick Giacchino, I believe, is Michael Giacchino's son.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
He's having a great effing year.
Because what else did he work on? He worked on something else.
Yeah, The Penguin.
Ah.
So He's having a good year for the TV. Nick Frost is in the show as the droid.
Oh, that's who it was.
And he voices SM-33. And I gotta say, there's like a science to naming Star Wars droids, because like SM-33, that just sounds right. And even though it sounds like gibberish, I'm like, that's correct. A droid would be called that.
Yeah, it's funny how there's a certain sound to like Star Wars names. Like you know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, that's Star Wars.
All right, well, let's move on to episode 2, which is way out past the barrier. This is the episode where basically they dock on a pirate station, and we discovered that that was a pirate ship. They're becoming pirates, and I guess that means the Goonie comparison in my head makes more sense because there's a lot of pirate stuff in that movie.
Even if Goonies wasn't like the #1 reference for them, it was obviously like it was obviously on their mind when making the show.
Basically, they get into some shenanigans on a pirate station. Yeah. They're trying to pay for Old Republic credits, which we didn't know these were Old Republic credits. We just thought these were credits, but they're like, holy shit, how did you get that? Where'd you get that? Like, this is a rare object, and they're all running around like crazy. They're being chased by these pirates and they get chased by the same crew we saw at the beginning of episode 1. I forgot to mention that. The cold open of episode 1 is like this pirate crew trying to steal credits, and then there aren't any credits.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention that too, but I was like, we'll talk about the pirates later. I'll just wait for it. But another thing I really like about the show is the child in me. Pirates are so awesome. I mean, they're not like very complicated real ones historically, but like it's like a fictional subgenre. Pirate stuff is the coolest. It's and in Space Pirates, no difference. I remember in the CG Star Wars show, my favorite character from that probably was the pirate guy.
Die, Jedi scum!
Star Wars pirates always cool. From my understanding, in the old continuity, they had like I'm not going to get into it.
They're chased around. They get into some shenanigans. We find out that everyone's like, we're from Aden. Everyone's like,
the fuck you are.
That's a myth. Which again, it's so like, what's going on that planet? Especially because they have this weird this like cult like mindset of like what's best for the planet is what working group you get assigned to, yada yada. Like there's some weird fascinating stuff going on there.
Very Fallout 3.
Yeah, it does remind me of Fallout 3.
Yeah, very much like the prologue and the way it's kind of delivered to the audience. Oh yeah, no, they're doing a really solid job setting up the mystery.
Yeah, like what's going on with their planet? Why does nobody know where it is? And since they say that ships are banned from Aden, when they found that ship, how long was it there? Like, how old is that ship? I'm guessing old. There's just like a lot of fascinating stuff going on.
This is definitely a more exciting episode. The contrast between the Goonies kids and wherever the pirate city was in Pirates of the Caribbean, like kind of like that. Ash is very fun. There's a lot of like great reactions from it. You kind of are. The show does a great job getting you in like the character's mindset, like feeling like you're one of these kids and like really seeing it from their POV. It's great.
Yeah, 100%. And really it's just a fun episode. Again, it's still a lot of setting up for what this show is gonna be. But the big thing happens at the end of episode 2 where we're properly introduced to Jude Law's character. I do believe Jude Law was like the guy that all the pirates turn against in episode 1. I mean, the scene in the brig shows us that. But this is the big reveal. This is something I did not know going in, and I've looked around. I don't think it was in the marketing, so I do think this was a surprise. Jude Law is one of the pirates that like he fucked up a job so bad that they like imprisoned him. And then it's revealed that Jude Law is force sensitive, which part of the reason I was excited for this show is I thought there's not going to be any Jedi shit, but it was just done so perfectly. Like, no, it does make sense. I think it would make sense that these accidental pirate kids would encounter a fucking wizard. Like, that's fun.
I was same. It's fine. I'm on the same exact wavelength. Part of my enjoyment was, okay, I think they just focus on a fun, family-friendly adventure thing, like just doing like the best version of that. And I feel like I was preferring it at the time. Yeah, I was preferring just no Jedi stuff, none of the big lore stuff, just simple, fun adventure movie. I say this as someone who really likes Solo, so something like that in Star Wars, that's fun. But then, so if you told me that the Jude Law character is actually a Jedi or something, or some sort of Force user, I mean, I would have been disappointed. But like in the context of the show, it just feels right. Like the way they set it up, and again, the kid's POV, it's like by the time you're in their POV and you see a Jedi, it feels way more cool than it otherwise would be.
Yeah, because it's been established to be a rare special thing. Like, they've never met a Jedi.
Yeah, and it makes the adventure of it way cooler. Because like you're saying, oh, it's a fucking wizard.
And, you know, this episode was directed by David. That's another thing about the show. When I saw the director lineup, I can't wait for episode 4, which is going to be directed by the Daniels. But this episode was directed by David Lowery, who, you know, directed The Green Knight, or A Ghost Story, and the bad Peter Pan remake from a couple years ago.
I didn't know that was the same guy. That's crazy.
Yeah, he also did the Peach Dragon thing in 2016 that was actually good. This is all the same David Lowery.
Okay. He's
like perfected the one for you, one for me thing.
Yeah, no, he's wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention to the director of this for this episode. I guess I'm trying to think if I have any other takes on the episode. It was kind of delightful. Hoping it'll get better. Hoping it's doing well. I don't know. You might know that. I don't know. I haven't looked at any numbers about it. And we're recording this the Friday after it came out, which was 4 days after. True.
So the numbers might not be exact yet.
And they might grow a lot with word of mouth as the series goes on. So,
I mean, overall, I think this has been a really fun show so far. And I'm really excited to see what happens next, because I think they've set up a perfect little adventure, and I'm excited to see where this adventure goes. I feel like I've gotten my piece out. Again, there's not too much to say because it's all set up. So is there anything else you want to get out before we wrap this up?
Yes. My final thought is I'm not sweaty. I mean, I was sweaty after taking off the mask, but my hair, it's not like I was so sweaty that I took a shower right before. That is why my hair is like this. In case anyone's like, is Rein just really sweaty after wearing the mask? That's my review of this show so far.
I'm glad you said that. I really think the people needed that one, so they would know, so they would feel safe and at home.
Yeah.
Well, and if that's the case, then you know who else isn't really sweaty, and they just got out of the shower? You, the person watching / listening to this first episode of this Bomb Squad vidcast series on the Skeleton Crew. If you're listening to this on any audio platforms we're on, thank you for listening. Go ahead and review us, boost us in the algorithm. How about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, or if you subscribe to the $5 tier, you get access to commentary tracks. We release at least once a month, but ever since October, we've been releasing 2 a month. So $5 tier will get you access to that, and we have some more fun ones planned in the future. And if you subscribe to our $10 tier, you get a shout out at the end of podcasts and these vidcasts. So, Mr. Jason Secord and my mom, Tanya Kraft, thank you for subscribing to our $10 tier. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you oh so very much for watching. We really appreciate it. How about you mosey on down over to that comment section below and let me know, what were your thoughts going into Skeleton Crew? What did you think of episode 1? What did you think of episode 2? What do you think of them both so far? Were you excited or disappointed when Jude Law was revealed to be a Force user? And finally, what are your opinions on the video game Star Wars Force Unleashed 2? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. And hit the bell icon so you can know exactly when we upload the videos. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."